Hey, Chris.
What's going on?
It's another crazy week. I figured we're going to go live and tell a story today, and don't have anything specific to really teach, but I did have a an interesting call last Friday night about from someone in one of my networking groups that just sent $5,000 to a real estate agent to get a Jersey Shore beach rental. Turns out the rental agent never uses wire transfers though. And
Oh,
yeah, so this is another case of how one small business emails being compromised can affect clients. And in this case, it was pretty crazy. And I want to just go through and really see what you think, see what everybody else
yeah.
thinks. Was this the business owner that had their email compromised? Were they being stupid, or were they just being irresponsible? Because what happened was the business owner had their email running on AOL, and they had one email account running their real estate agency, and she does rentals on the side. Okay, well, she's going back and forth with the person that was looking for a beach rental, and there was some dispute over whether or not she could actually bring her dog on the to the rental for the event. And in the message thread, there was a message that said the real estate agent was going out of town for the next couple days and should reach out when she got back. Well, soon the day after the agent was gone, my the person looking for the rental got an email and said, I talked to the owner of the property. They're going to let you bring the dog, no problem. We just have to get a $10,000 security deposit over to them, and everything will be done. Here's my Zelle information. Just send it over. And
Yeah.
after that, the it went downhill fast. But this woman's like, well, Zelle. I never used Zelle before. So she went to her bank and figured out how to do Zelle, and it turns out that she was only able to do $5,000 or half of it on the first round of doing the transfer. So she reached out to the real estate agent via text this time, and the real estate agent said, "What are you talking about? I only use checks."
Oh. Well, I mean,
So
the good news there is they only lost $5,000 out of this and not 10.
true.
I mean, let's go glass half full situation here. Okay.
And I looked at the emails that she received, and all the emails came from the agent's account. So, based on the emails, it wasn't a case of a spoofed email address. This was the bad guys were logged in to the agent's email, and that's not the end of the story. So,
Oh.
since the agent since the person doing the rental was kind of friendly with the agent and texted the agent and found out it wasn't real, she she texted her and said, "Well, I got to send it in two parts." And that's when they figured out that it was that she didn't do wire transfers in the first place. But while I'm working with the person looking at the emails, an email an email had come in that morning also the next day, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? So while I was on the phone with her, I told the person making the rental, let's send an email to the agent and see what happens. So we sent an email that said, I just made the second transfer, just confirming that you got it. And within 15 minutes, actually it was about 10 minutes on the call, we got a response back from that person's email that said, I haven't seen it yet. Can you send me the confirmation screen? Meanwhile, the agent hasn't seen any of these emails and didn't do anything after knowing that her account had been compromised. And it took 2 days, and 2 days later, the rental agent asked the my client, my friend, to who are you working with to determine this. And we got on the phone and we looked at her account, and sure enough, her account had been accessed by Nigeria. I don't know. I didn't go back how far because she didn't have a lot of history turned on. And I walked her through at least changing her password. Do you know the hardest part of this whole thing for her was figuring out a new password to put in? She it probably took 5 minutes for her to come up with a password that actually mattered, that she could
Yeah.
think about and remember. But while we were there, I said, "Well, this account was compromised. Who else do you think was? Who else you been working with?" He goes, "I don't know. I'm still everything's still working." So we drilled into we jumped into her account and we looked at the rules. 5 rules were set up for different email addresses. So interaction between her and other clients and even her attorney were being filtered. So any contracts that she was sending through the attorney,
Yeah.
we're all getting getting stuck over here. So
So they were in there for a while because they
they're in,
knew all the communication. They knew who the lawyer was. They knew who the customers were. Obviously, when you tell somebody you're going out of town, they're reading the sent items, knowing this.
and like I said, the rules were set up so they didn't even show
Yeah.
up in the sent folder.
Yep.
And simple things that we've talked about in the past, she just didn't have. You know, she
It,
now has multi-factor authentication on. It's not app based, but at least it's something. Um,
it's going to stop a lot of the attacks. I mean, we can go into how advanced you can get on that, but at least it'll stop initially what this was. It'll stop that. The one thing about
yeah,
AOLs I don't know is I don't know if you can force signouts. So one of the problems I've seen before, like Microsoft, you can force signouts, right, of all sessions. Doesn't matter what. But AOL, if you can't force a sign out and they're signed in from another country, I'm wondering if they keep that sign in as long as they keep refreshing the page.
there was actually a link in her in the platform to actually sign out all the sessions. So we did
Okay.
walk her through.
Okay.
I did walk her through
Well,
that.
oops. I bring that up only because like if it doesn't have that, a lot of sites are built on making it a better user experience and they'll just leave sessions signed in. Like so even though you change the password, those people are still logged in as long as they keep refreshing, they stay logged in. So that's good that at least AOL has that. Um, we can talk about why AOL is probably not a good business email solution, but or Gmail or
Yeah, I
some of
wasn't.
the other
I
ones.
wasn't even gone there with this one because it was a solo that she didn't really care. And the fact
Yeah.
that she took 2 days to even think about changing her password or having somebody look at the account with her, it
Well,
was just crazy.
and they're not caring about like your email security is one thing, but when you basically have people lose money, that's your reputation. First of all, like if I honestly, if I lost 5K for somebody, one, I'd sue them because that's just going to happen, and two, I try to bury the reputation because clearly in this case she's being negligent.
Yeah.
She's not doing everything she needs to do. I mean, you can. Some people argue, well, it's not really negligence. Maybe it's being, maybe it's being irresponsible or whatever. But like, come on, you see all these attacks, you know what's happening. Like,
I understand that. Okay, multi-factor gets in the way of people being a little slow, but this in this
kind
case,
of.
she was told that her email is being used for something and did nothing about it. She's sitting in Florida somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'd sue her. I'd, I'd ruin her vacation. I'd file a lawsuit and make her come back. Because I mean, look. Luckily, the person lost 5K, not 10. I mean, let's.
Yeah,
I mean, that's. But you said there's five total or four other ones outside of this customer.
there were 5 total
Five total.
rules set up on the account. Four
So we
four
don't.
four clients and the lawyer.
So we don't even know how much money they got. Like nobody really knows. So like how
No.
like if other people like the other four people got had.
Well, that's
Right.
the other thing. When somebody's in an email account and they're there for a while,
Yeah.
we've got access to everything you've ever received. So
When you saw
you really don't know what
True.
else they've got access to.
Well, and you saw 5 rules, so that doesn't mean they didn't delete rules in the past and swindle other people out. We're going to assume not because you'd assume at some point, like maybe this is just when they started to launch their attack because they saw she was going out of town. So it makes it a lot easier to kind of launch that attack because she's not going to be watching her emails as much as she should be.
Sure.
But I can tag onto this a little bit.
Go ahead.
Funny story. This is just more just amusing and nothing bad came out of this other than maybe some reputation for an employee. But we had a customer, they refused to do MFA. We're doing a cyber risk assessment for him. And I'm going through and I'm pulling their logs in and stuff like that, just kind of analyze their Office, their Microsoft 365 logs. And I look at this guy and I'm like, huh, this guy's quite the world traveler. He's logging in from Russia, Brazil, 3 spots in the United States, China, Singapore, Japan. Wow, this guy's pretty awesome. And all within like 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, his email's compromised clearly. So I have my team jump on it. We start looking at it. This dude's email's been compromised for 3 years. The
Three
thing is,
years.
3 years. The guy never. But here's the thing: the guy never uses his email. He works on a machine in the back, so it's not like he uses email. So they got access to like probably the most boring person you could possibly do. So what they did is they sent out spam, and they've sent out 3 waves. They've sent out a wave of spam every single year around this time, and we just caught it on the day they were sending it out. This time though, it was German porn.
Oh
So
no.
so this business is sending out German porn to people. And this is not the first time they've been hit on this. The CEO once got hit and started sending out to his contact list, and he was embarrassed. And we told them then, like, we got to put multi-factor authentication in. It's going to stop something like this, or at least minimize the chance it's going to happen. And he's like, no, no, no. But now we're having that conversation. So yeah, it was just no business loss, just kind of like 3 years, because we look in there, we see sent items for 3 years ago, and we're just like, and the guy never said anything was going on weird with his email, never reported it, never said anything, just like pretend like nothing happened. And then
Well,
it goes worse. He said, oh, I started using personal email for stuff.
yeah, I
Oh,
did a risk assessment for somebody recently that the business, the owner of the senior partner of the law firm could not communicate with their with their biggest client via his company email. It just never showed up, is what he said.
wow.
And the company that was in there, um, that was supporting them, couldn't figure out why. It, and it was an
Was it
in-house
rule?
in-house.
Was it rule?
It was it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to get that deep into it, but it definitely had all the indicators of a rule sitting out there somewhere that the existing IT people didn't couldn't find. So when we do these risk assessments, we got to be able to go
Yeah.
deep, and that's what. And it's crazy. But back to both of those stories.
Yeah.
What are these business owners really? Um, are they stupid? Or are they just stupid or irresponsible when it comes down to it? And I'd love to hear what everyone else thinks
Yeah.
in the comments below, because Chris and I are definitely looking for what you want to hear, and if you've got any cyber questions, or if you even want to jump on and tell a story about how a cyber incident affected you. I know some people are embarrassed that they had an incident, but some people really do like to share and make sure it doesn't happen to anything. I was actually at another event where somebody did share everything that happened, and this was a case where the FBI came knocking on the door and said, "There's something going on here," and it was all downhill from there. But so,
You know what? Law enforcement knocking on your door. We'll anonymize anything somebody like says to us in confidence. We're not here to exploit that. But like sharing these stories gives other people like the perspective to know that they're not alone. That if something bad happens, that it's okay to share. It's okay to get that message out there because it's only going to help people, and that's what we're here for. So
help people, and sometimes we get lucky and we were able to recover help people recover funds, but this time
yeah,
it wasn't. But like I said, comment below, and that's all I got for this week. And
yeah. Happy Memorial Day. All right.
actually, it is
Yeah.
Memorial Day, so watch your
Yeah.
email on Friday, because um, this is a long weekend is when cyber attacks happen again.
Yeah. Be on high alert. Make sure just be on high alert. We always are, but last year was 4th of July, so we'll be ready for that one too. So cool.